What is up, you guys? Oh, man. Wow, I am so far behind with my recaps of the Supercross season. I know Saturday night was Dallas. I only got to see the first couple of heat races in the 250s before I had to leave for Hawaii men's basketball. And before I get to that, I just want to point out that my last recap with UH versus Cal Poly, I just want to point out that was filmed before tip-off, okay? So if anybody got any wrong ideas from that, just to kind of extinguish that fire a little bit, if anybody got any wrong ideas, all you have to do is just look at the title and know that that was my recap of Cal Poly, and that was well before tip-off for UH versus UC Santa Barbara, and I cannot wait to get to that video. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about Seattle because I had yet to see the race, because I was over at the Shaka Classic, in the HPU Shaka Classic at Hawaii Convention Center. And I guess I just got a little too lazy on trying to view the race, and I finally did so. But in the meantime, let's get into this. Going to start with the 250 class. Haiden Deegan wins 5 straight. Levi Kitchen finally got to battle with him. Now, for Haiden Deegan winning 5 in a row, the last rider who did that was Ryan Villopoto in 2007. And that just goes to show how much parity the has had over the years. And if you're talking Yamaha only, the last guy who won 5 in a row was Chad Reed in 2002, and he went on to win 6 in a row. So, I'll tell you this, for Haiden Deegan to reach down deep and be able to battle with Levi Kitchen for the win and still beat Levi, oh man. Like I said earlier, I have not seen that kind of riding from someone in the 250 class since probably Eli Tomac. And the way that Deegan rides, he's a lot like Eli Tomac in a way. And when you see him just go through these sections and copy what the 450 guys do, not every lap, but just it seems like every single time you see him out there, it seems like he's doing a lot of things that the 450 guys are doing. Now, I was watching the race last night with my dad, and he was like, and he kind of reminded me of James. He kind of brought up James Stewart doing that. And I'm like, no way. James Stewart, when he was on the 125, he was doing guys at the 250 class. He was doing things that the 250 class wasn't doing. And, you know, for Haiden Deegan to copy what the 450 guys are doing, he's not doing a different rhythm that the 450 guys are doing or are not doing, but he is riding really close to being on a 450. When he's on the 450 outdoors, I do think he will have a learning curve, but I won't doubt that he's going to get some wins. Okay? Just like with Jet Lawrence, no one predicted that he would sweep the 2023 motocross season in his first season on the 450, but Jet was likely 2 standard deviations above everybody else on speed. And unfortunately, Jet's out for the proverbial future. I'm not sure if he's going to come back for Supercross. He probably will. But even when he does come back, the field better watch out, because I have a feeling that he's going to put together at least 3 in a row. He can't win the title, but he's definitely going to shake up the points. That's for sure. So for Levi Kitchen, if you're in the Levi Kitchen camp, it's a little too bad that it took him this long to finally realize what he can truly do. You know, I look back to when Jason Lawrence was coming up through the ranks for Yamaha Troy, and he said he needed a start to battle with Ryan Villopoto in the 07 season, and he finally did. But he only got really one good start, and the other ones he was kind of too far back to really do anything. And when you've had a season like how Levi Kitchen has had, that really dings your confidence, and it takes a long time to really get it back. And for Levi, even though he's going into this 5-week break, I do think that he will have a much more different attitude when the Birmingham race comes around. Now, for Deegan, in his case, for 5 in a row, he's proven that he's the guy to beat. And if he ends up winning out the rest of the season, wowee. That'll be something for sure. And something we haven't seen, like a guy who drops the first round and wins out the rest of the season. That was James Stewart-esque, because in 2003, he dropped the Anaheim opener and won the last 7 in a row. Now, the guy who finished third, Max Anstey, what a ride for him. And then it became clear a day later that he was having some health problems, and then they were revealed as he had his appendix removed. But wow, if that explains why he was coughing so much, and may possibly explain why his performances have kind of suffered since Anaheim won, and maybe have pointed to San Diego, I hope that's the sign that he needs to really get back on track. I mean, the title's out of reach for him already because of his kind of sporadic results, but still, for Anstey, if he can figure out that problem right away like he did, that'll be big news. And the competition had better be noteworthy of that. Because I have a feeling that Anstey will win one more of these races, at least one, before the West Supercross season is over. Now to the 450s. Eli Tomac wins real chess match. Hunter Lawrence goes for ill-advised pass on Ken Roczen. Now, Eli Tomac winning in Seattle, he stopped the Cooper Webb freight train because Cooper Webb had won at Seattle the last 2 years. And the last guy to win 3 in a row at Seattle was James Stewart, 05 to 07. Now, for Cooper Webb to have a ride like that, I think he's going to want to see that race just one time and then erase that from his memory for sure. Because the way that he rode, he wasn't riding like the Cooper Webb of old. And fortunately, he did get a win at the Triple Crown at Houston, which is something he didn't do in 2022. Get a win after winning the title in 2021. But for Cooper Webb, I feel like that was one that got away because he wasn't doing the same rhythm that Eli Tomac was doing, that triple on the tabletop. But props to Tomac because he was able to come up with new lines. And when he was using that inside line in the right-hand turn, the left-hand turn before the second rhythm section, that kind of made me think back to the 2018 Foxborough race when Marvin Musquin put him down. And one wonders why he didn't use that tight inside line to protect the lead. And he left the door wide open. And then after that, on the podium, he called it a joke. And I'm like, how do you not expect that? And when Eli Tomac took that inside line, that's what made me think of that, okay? But still, props to Tomac. He did win in Seattle again 3 times in 2026. That'll definitely prove that he's got a strong lock on the championship, and we're not even halfway through. Now, the elephant in the room. I did see that pass from Hunter Lawrence on Ken Roczen, and like I saw that on social media, and like I said, that was so ill-advised on Hunter Lawrence's behalf. Could that be attributed to lack of experience? I would say so, because Hunter has not really been in these positions that often. And obviously the best part is to avoid drama like that is to get out front early and let all those troubles happen behind you. Ken Roczen ended up 10th. Hunter Lawrence ended up 4th. And he even admitted that wasn't a wise move himself. That move right there did not do anyone any good. Now, the line that Hunter Lawrence was using was good, but to do that on another rider, no, absolutely not. Not a good idea. He should have just kept tight, and he probably would have been side by side with Ken Roczen. And the way that I saw it, if he had kept tight, he would have been side by side with Ken Roczen, but he would have had the inside going into the next left-hand turn. And he could have given Ken Roczen an easy, clean block pass. But props to Hunter for trying to be aggressive. Now, aggressive riding, that's great. I like it. I'm a fan of it. But if your intention is to do stuff like that, kind of like a Jason Anderson kind of move, I'm sorry, but you would have opened a giant can of worms, and you better be ready when Ken Roczen pays you back, if he does. Now, that's not an if, or when he does, I should say. Not if, but when he pays you back. Now, is Ken Roczen that kind of guy? I think on any given night he would be. That's why I do think that Hunter Lawrence has to be on alert when that happens. So hopefully Hunter will learn from that, and I'm sure he very well did. But just the next time when you're coming through the pack, don't do something like that. Because I would have expected that from someone like Jason Anderson when he was on the 450 as a rookie. And he was riding like he was asking for payback. Was Hunter asking for payback then? Not necessarily. I mean, if it's the first time, okay, it happens. But if it happens over and over again, you're definitely asking for payback. So I do think that Hunter kind of used his get out of jail free card proverbially on stuff like that. So that's why he better be ready if and when he gets the payback from Ken Roczen. And that's where I'll leave it. So anyway, guys, that's all for today. And remember, subscribe. I'll see you all for Dallas.